after.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs fell to Grizzlies by 1 last night. Victor Wembanyama did his part, 30 points in just 21 minutes as he returned from a hyperextended knee. They're back in action tonight as they take on the Lakers here at the Frost Bank Center. Tip-off set for 8:30. In college football, UTSA transfer wide receiver Devin McEwen has committed to Ohio State, and the Roadrunners did land a big transfer as well in Texas Tech defensive end Dylan Spencer.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous, I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate you joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in listening live at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on YouTube, that's right, we stream all of our shows on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube, search SA Sports Star, like and subscribe while you're there. You're able to comment along with the show. Love reacting with everybody in the comment section, and you can also see that I am honoring my bet wearing this Johnny Manziel jersey that I give me props for the beautiful jersey that Minix let me to wear to fulfill what is going on. And I also love to talk to y'all. So if y'all want to get something off your chest, 210-656-ESPN 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. And the big conversation today is the Cowboys spoke. Their end of the season press conference in which Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, and Brian Schottenheimer all sat up there and answered questions. And as you would imagine, a lot of it had to revolve around their defensive coordinator and what's going to happen this offseason as they attempt to fix what was a god-awful defense this past season, in which they gave up the most points in the NFL, over 30 points per game this past season, which really hindered what they could do. And it's been well reported that, Matt Eberflus was Jerry Jones' hire, and that, he was told, Brian Schottenheimer, this is going to be your defensive coordinator for your first year. And with that knowledge, they were asked, Jerry Jones specifically, since it's been reported that you were the one that hired Matt Eberflus, will Brian Schottenheimer have a say or a hand in this hiring cycle of the defensive coordinator?
Trump just said it. I'm running. Venezuela. Seriously. Shotty had everything to do with hiring Matt Eberflus last time, and that's not done as a negative. It had no way in the world he's here if Shotty didn't want him here. Okay, let me be real clear about that. And he can tell you in his own words there, no way in the world if Stephen didn't want him here. But I particularly had a party when we got him to have him come in. And I was excited about having the uniqueness of his staff. And so I say to our fans, the way we've done it, I'll assure you that the way we've done it in the past, that alone will cause me not to do it that way now. That alone. That's simple logic. If whatever we've been doing to do it in the past there, we need to change that, that'll happen. That's what you have to do when you're doing it, making the ultimate calls. We'll make it the same way that we've made all of the calls around here on staff. I wouldn't make a call if Stephen didn't agree with the call. I wouldn't make a call if we're involved with a player and somehow Will wasn't involved in the decision of making the call. I wouldn't do that. And by the way, those guys and me, we take a lot of opinion. If you want to criticize me for anything, it is that maybe I should make a lot of uninformed calls or contribution to the decision calls. But I've done it with consistency since the day I walked through the door here. We'll do it the same way as we hired Flus. We'll do it together and come up with as good as we can.
It will be a collaborative decision, which means Brian Schottenheimer will be more involved, it sounds like, in this process of hiring the next defensive coordinator. Now, Albert Breer is reporting that Matt Patricia is a name to keep an eye on. That he's hearing a lot about that. You have heard reports of Brian Flores. I don't know how sustainable that is in terms of the contract he would be getting, plus the fact that he is going to get head coaching opportunities in terms of probably Las Vegas, and I wouldn't rule out Baltimore either as places that he could end up. And Anthony Weaver's another guy I could see in Baltimore. But those are definitely on the table. I think more realistic. They brought up passing game coordinator for the Denver Broncos, and Jeff Ulbrich is a name that I've heard, as well as the promotion of Aaron Whitecotton. And all of those seem more in line with the way the Cowboys would potentially handle this in terms of money spent on the position. Matt Patricia, I believe, is making quite a bit at Ohio State to be their defensive coordinator. So for him to move to the NFL, I think it would take a substantial offer from Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. And maybe this year was the straw that broke Jerry's back when it comes to what he's willing to pay on it for his assistants and for the defensive coordinators. But Jerry has a way of doing things. A lot of the times, that defensive coordinator paired with a coach with the specificity one side of the ball, the offensive side, usually like somebody on the other side that can basically run that side of the ball. So he was asked, is head coaching experience a requirement for their next defensive coordinator like Matt Eberflus had, or would he consider a first-time coordinator?
No, yes. You ask a good question. And no, yes. No, it's not a requirement, having been a head coach. And yes, it's possible to have a first-time coordinator.
That feels like a departure from normal Jerry Jones. That feels like if he was willing to hire a first-time defensive coordinator for a first-time head coach, that feels like a departure of the normal from Jerry Jones. And they got into it more with how they're approaching this search. And Brian Schottenheimer was specifically asked what he's looking for in his next defensive coordinator. And it sounds like he wants a guy that can relay a message.
Yeah, I think John, a teacher. I love what Jerry said. We want to cast a wide, net of candidates and find someone that's a great teacher, a great communicator. You guys know me. You're around me a lot. I'm full of energy and love what I do. I think someone that's passionate about football, but the ability to take what is complicated information. What we ask our players to do in all three phases is complicated. We want guys that can say complicated information in a simple manner. And if I say something to you that you don't understand, I need the ability to say it a different way. The same message, but say it a different way, because how you learn might be different than how Nick learned or how Ed learns. And I think that's the starting point for me.
And that's very important because it feels like, and you heard him mention it a lot, communication was a big issue with the Cowboys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And a teacher, someone who could communicate, someone who can get the message across, because not everybody learns the same way. I think those are very important traits. And Shai doubled down on those traits when he said the qualities that he wants to see in the next man that is going to fill that role at defensive coordinator.
At the end of the day, we've had this conversation a lot. The best coaches, in my opinion, are flexible. So we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves and say, hey, we have to be 3-4, 4 down, whatever it is. I mean, I've been in the West Coast system, the digit system. Hell, I played for Steve Spurrier in the fun and gun, right? Good coaches take their players that they have. They've got an identity. They take their players and they fit their players into the model that fits what they do well. And that's why I go back to what I said earlier. You're looking for a teacher. You're looking for a guy that has the ability to instruct and get guys to believe and get guys to buy in. We're salesmen. When you're up there in front of the players, you're selling them on why what you're doing offensively, defensively, special teams, why it's going to work. And part of that's your personality, part of it's your ability to communicate. But when we cast this wide net to go find the right guy for this job, which we will find, no question about it, it's going to be the things that Jerry was talking about, but also the flexibility of, hey, we can do different things, because those are the things that when I talk with Jerry and Steven, those are the things that cause us problems, the flexibility and some of the unknowns and things like that.
And I love hearing that from Brian Schottenheimer, because when I talk about head coaches and coaches in general, there are coaches that are married to their scheme. Matt Eberflus seems to be a coach that is married to his scheme, and it's scheme above all else. That's not always the case. You don't always have the players that fit your scheme, or you have to adapt and adjust to mold the scheme to the players, or vice versa, to get the best out of everything involved. And I think people that are scheme dependent are bad coaches, and not bad coaches, but in the NFL, in the NBA, in name sport, it's about the adjustments you make, because things get figured out. Can you adjust? And the ability to just be flexible, as Brian Schottenheimer just said, is very, very important. And he's right. Not everybody learns the same. Not everybody takes information in the same way. And so it's about finding players. Michael Irvin said this about talking with players on his team. You had to find the hook, what motivated them, because it's not always just football or being great or being the best. Some people are motivated by family. Some people are motivated by fear. Some people are motivated with positive reinforcement. Everybody learns and reacts to different situations differently. It's just human nature. And I think the best coaches know how best to communicate with a wide array of players from different backgrounds and different learning and different ways of instruction to get the best out of their team. And part of that is also molding yourself to be able to help fit to the possible shortcomings that may be in front of you. And there were a lot of shortcomings on this defense. There was the trade of Micah Parsons early. There was no adjustment from that, period, at all. There was injuries. There was just decimation in the secondary. There was communication. There were all of these issues that compounded upon one another throughout the season. And the only time we saw it get better was during a 3-week period where Brian Schottenheimer was specifically walking across the hall into those meetings, which tells me Brian Schottenheimer relayed messages to his team on the defensive side of the ball better than the defensive coordinator did. And I think Brian Schottenheimer having a hand in finding someone who can communicate the same way he does to his players and get the best out of them, I think that's going to be very important as we move forward in this defensive coordinator search. And I think he's going to have a much bigger role in who is hired. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Coming back earlier today on the Blitz, we'll put a bow on the state of the Cowboys, the year in review, as RJ Ochoa joined the Blitz a little bit earlier today to discuss exactly what came from this press conference and what they're going to do moving forward, whether that's in free agency, whether that's in the draft with their draft picks, and how they're best going to attack this offseason, and who are the names we should be looking out for when it comes to that next defensive coordinator. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, or Small Friday, as we around here like to call it. Spurs had the Lakers. How'd they come out smelling, Rob?
We got football, the Fiesta Bowl,
Yes.
the frozen tundra of Phoenix. Miami of Ole Miss. We'll get you ready for it. It's going to be a huge day. Set your alarm. Get here early. Party's up to say.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut. SA.com.
License number 38961. Staples presents That Was Easy.
This year, it was important for my business to start strong.
Starting weak is not recommended.
But first, I needed a lot of stuff for the office.
Sounds like a shopping spree.
I just went to Staples. They have great prices on everything like ink, toner, printers, paper, and chairs. And now you can get up to 30% off select HP printers.
Up to 30% off HP printers. Am I on a hidden camera show?
No.
Well then, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. Ins 131. Select models only.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight. Earlier this afternoon on the Blitz, RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of bloggingtheboys.com, did join as we continue to look at what was said at the Cowboys' end of season press conference as they continue to look for a defensive coordinator and who that could potentially be.
Well, the offseason has begun for the Dallas Cowboys. No playoffs for them again this year. It's going to be an interesting offseason, as it always is. Thanks for stopping by here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. He is Jason Minix.
Cowboys did have their end-of-season press conference today. A lot of interesting things about it, and a lot of it kind of what you expected to hear. Let's talk about it. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joining us now here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. I know it's kind of knucklehead, but the thing that struck me was Jerry Jones actually used the R word, actually talking about retirement, which now, granted, he has goals before retirement that seem unachievable, but the fact that he actually said the retire word.
Yeah, he also mentioned some politically charged things right now. So he was all over the spectrum. I don't know that I think he'll ever retire. You know, it's just amazing. Like, I every day almost think that there's no further these dudes can sink in terms of just being and acting a fool. Get a press conference, and I remember that it is possible. So every day is a surprise as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I tell you what, it's always entertaining, that's for sure, depending on your perspective of it, I guess. Frustrating, entertaining, however you want to look at it. But look, obviously, you mentioned the politically charged comment that he made, that he's in charge, like Trump said he was in charge of Venezuela, when it comes to the defensive coordinator. Look, Jerry said he didn't hire Eberflus, but I think we all know better than that. I think there was a Jerry hire, and I'm not sure Schotty had much to do with that. Do you think Schotty's going to have any more input on the next defensive coordinator?
Before I answer the question, I want to say that I've grown to like Brian Schottenheimer, and I think he's a fantastic human being. And I think he's making the lemonade that he can in this particular situation. But to answer your question, I don't think he would have this job if he was the type of person who was going to demand control and demand some sort of authority over something like this. I think the reason why the Cowboys chose to give Brian Schottenheimer the seat he's in is because they knew when they hired him that they would be able to do things like this. And so I think it's nice and also kind of mean to the day after they fired Matt Eberflus be like, that was totally Brian's idea. Like, what are you guys talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, but I don't for a second buy that Brian's the one who's running this whole thing. I would love to be wrong, but I just don't believe it.
No, and I'm with you. I do think he has some influence.
Sure.
But at the same time, we all know Jerry is the ultimate decision maker, and he can say that it's a collective decision, but ultimately it is Jerry's decision. But listening to Brian the last couple of weeks, and even to a degree today, I do think after this year, he probably will be a little bit more vocal in what he's looking for. And the fact that he clearly said what he wants in a new defensive coordinator is somebody that's a little bit more flexible based on personnel, which I thought was a direct shot at Eberflus. But it does make me wonder, who do you think is on the actual short list as opposed to all the different media types saying this guy, that guy, that guy? Who do you think really is on the short list?
I think that it's going to be somebody that has a connection to one of them. That's the way this tends to go. And it may not be like Matt Eberflus, specifically somebody who had a history with the Cowboys, but somebody who Brian Schottenheimer knows or had a cup of coffee with or was on the same staff as at some point. I think it's going to be somebody who they can sell was a part of a great defense in the past, whether that's this moment in time, the 2025 season, or somewhat recent history. I think that they want some level of familiarity, because familiarity is trust, and trust is control. They're not going to bring in somebody who they don't know. They don't know how they operate. They don't know how they want to do things. And then they will make it look like this new person has some level of power and influence. They will make it look like, oh, we're going to bring in some of the free agents that this guy had at his old team, whether that's the Broncos or the Falcons or the Jets or whoever the case may be. But I don't for a second believe it's going to be Brian Flores or it's going to be even Jonathan Gannon. I think it's going to be somebody. I think the worst case scenario, and this isn't about the candidate, but would be Joe Witt, who the Commanders moved on from yesterday. just because that would feel like such a, man, we know him. He's been here before. Let's do it again. That would be Matt Eberflus light. And so in that respect, it will be, I think, a mild household name, but kind of in the way that it is like nowadays when, I don't know, The Rock is in a movie. Like we know he's in the movie, and he's a very, very famous celebrity, a very famous name, but like that movie's not winning an Oscar. That's the kind of, sort of move I expect, if that makes sense.
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised either. The Cowboys are a strange bunch, that's for sure. But I think Jerry, and just listening to him today, and maybe he's got me fooled. I don't know. Talking about Robert Kraft, talking about catching him and retiring with the most Super Bowls. I think even Jerry Jones at his age can say, you know what, it's time to win a Super Bowl. It's time to at least compete for one. And I think he thinks that he's got the draft capital and the money to put some players on the field that is going to improve this team significantly.
I mean, I just don't believe that as much as you do. And I promise I'm not trying to be negative Nancy or a pessimist or anything like that. But I mean, if that were the case, then Brian Schottenheimer would have full authority over the search, right? Maybe he will, right? Like the offseason has yet to be fully or written in any sort of perspective. So maybe the Cowboys really will turn it all over to Brian. Maybe they really will be active in free agency. Maybe they will get a George Pickens and a Brandon Aubrey and a Javonte Williams extension done before the franchise tag deadline, right? But the drought is about to be 30 years old, like literally 30, not rounding, not approximating. And so I just don't know why, like, all of a sudden it would be like, you know what, now 30 is enough, right? Like 29 wasn't enough to make me feel like, I could take this seriously. Now I'm totally for real. I mean, I've burned up second and third and fourth chances with a lot of people in my life. And when I asked for the thirds and the fourths after the seconds, I didn't mean it any more than when I asked for the second. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just bartering in certain respects. And I think that's what today was. Today was trying to say, I know you guys think that I care about money more. Trust me, that's not the case. Just trust me. I know I can't prove it to you how you should, but trust me, that's the way to go.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Jerry did tell us he has a dream of winning more Super Bowls than any other owner. It's not about a buck. He doesn't need a buck. So I think, to your point, he was trying to say it's about winning. Then it was Steven's turn talking about how to do bargain shopping during free agency, using their draft picks on the defensive side. But I know this team, right? I until they do something different, I can't assume that this year they will do something different. So I do expect them to be players in free agency about a week and a half after free agency has started, and all the players that you thought you might see with the star on their helmet or somewhere else, and then you get this guy or you get that guy on the bargain shelf.
Yeah, well, two things here. One, I think the Cowboys, if they're anything, they are hyper aware. They know what is being said about them. They know what's being written about them. They love the Blitz. I hope they love blogging the boys. Although based on the words that I write, maybe they just are aware of it. But that being said, today, and like a lot of press conferences they have, it felt like, okay, these are the 12 things that we've seen trending about us on Twitter, right? Like we're here to nip all those in the bud. And so that actually doesn't make me believe you. That just makes me think you're trying to change our mind. But beyond all of that, the only part that you missed in your forecasting, Jason, is they will be connected, right? Like they will be utilized as leverage for somebody, some big free agent, some big time coach. We will hear about how they were close, they were having conversations, and then that person will ultimately get the bags from someone else, because that's who they are. They're just the leverage variable at this point.
I can't believe I'm the glass half full guy around here today. I mean, you two sour pusses. I'm telling you, look at you. Now here's my.
We live in the real world, man.
Here's another scenario, and I mean this in all sincerity. Jerry Jones loves Dak Prescott. He loves Dak Prescott, and I don't think Jerry Jones, and I mean this in all sincerity, wants to see Dak finish his career in Dallas without having some playoff success. And I think if there's any motivation for Jerry to do that besides money or besides whatever, I honestly believe that he would do that, or at least give it a good try for number 4.
I would love to agree with you, Joe, and I do agree with you in a vacuum. But where I would push back is they said all those things after Tony Romo left. They vowed to never let that happen again to a franchise quarterback, and they've watched it. And I agree that they value Dak. I do believe that they love him and care for him. I think that they have loved and cared for certain chosen sons of the organization in different ways, like Jason Garrett. I don't know that they love and care for Dak in that way. Those are my 2 cents. But if they truly loved Dak, if they truly cared for Dak, would they have dragged his name through the mud, through contract negotiations multiple times over? Would they have let Dak serve as this just like target for hate and vitriol and become this magnet for such divisiveness among the fan base? I mean, you could argue that they did it coming from a good place because they wanted him to be well off financially. They certainly earned him more money in that capacity, but they costed him. I mean, they made Dak have to develop a callousness with regards to contract negotiations, and Dak won. Dak won because of it, but they ultimately played that hand and forced that situation. So I don't believe. I was going to say buy or believe at the same time. People say things like they're incredibly loyal with regards to somebody like Dak or Matty. I would say that's a mischaracterization. I think they're incredibly comfortable. They like what they like, and if it works, they'll cut a check, and if it doesn't, they'll make you the fall guy. A year ago at this time, they were telling us how awesome Matt Eberflus was and how he was a family friend. And today, it was he sucks. He's a loser. He couldn't even communicate with these guys. Can you believe that we had him in our building? We're so stupid for having hired him. But trust us, we're the ones to figure this out.
RJ Ochoa speaking truth here on the Blitz, 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. And I think both of you are right. There is a love and a loyalty to Dak Prescott. But also, Jerry and Steven bring up often when you're paying your quarterback that kind of money, it's hard to fill out the rest of the roster. So it's like it's Dak's fault that we can't do this. But if they go and they're able to get a deal done with Pickens and they're able to now work on the defense, but 2 years into this new contract and both years haven't been in the playoffs, frustration. But to the point, Eberflus, one of the reasons I was a little surprised that they fired him and fired him as quickly as they did at the end of the season is Jerry having to admit he made the wrong choice for the second year in a row at defensive coordinator. Jerry, by firing him, has to own that.
I agree with you. And not only having to admit that 2 years in a row, but the two coordinators in question were family friends, right? Like they weren't just, random people or whatever. They were people who had a history with the organization. They love to cry, woe is me, about the corner that we're painted into while they're holding the brushes and their hands are covered in the paint. I mean, you mentioned it, Jason. They have said at every opportunity that they could that Dak is the highest paid player in the NFL. That's true. That's objectively true. But why is he that? Why is he the highest paid player in the NFL and not had for a lower rate? Because of the way that you handle this. You don't get to use that as some sort of problem or demerit or handicap when you create it. And even if it truly was a handicap against your roster building process, it's your job to figure it out. That's quite literally your job as far as what you do relative to the Dallas Cowboys. So I think that, this is just the latest twist, right? Like this is just this season on Grey's Anatomy, Meredith is going to be a doctor and a patient at the same time, everybody. Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central. And guess what? Scandal is on right after. Shonda Rhimes. It's a twofer talking ABC Thursday nights. If you can't watch it live, make sure you record it.
Grey's Anatomy still on?
It was like, wait a minute.
It's been on for over half of the drought, if we want to get technical here, which is a very, very long time. I used to like it way back in the day, but it got preposterous.
My wife used to watch that show. We don't watch it anymore.
I
didn't know it was still on.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Is Desperate Housewives still on
breaking
too?
News.
I mean, is that
Friends?
No, but that's what it is. Like,
I mean, look, new episodes, or are you watching the reruns on Ion West?
You guys remember when Thursday nights were like primetime television nights? Like, it wasn't when I was an adult, but when you couldn't record, like back when you guys had your 8 tracks and your stuff like that.
I've never had an 8 track, sir.
Thursday night was like a appointment television, right? Like you were there, you watched all these shows live, and that's what this is. This is just TV at this point. And so now it's okay. What plot haven't we explored? Now we're loyal to Dak. Now we really care about Dak. And I hope they're true. Look, I hope that in 2 months' time, we can look back at this conversation and I just sound like a crusty Grinch and someone who was mad and doubted them at every single turn. I think they've earned all of this doubt, to be fair. And I agree with you, Jason. Like, but like, and I know you both agree with this. Like, think about how pathetic it is that we're like, you fired the literal worst defensive coordinator you've ever had at the appropriate time to fire him. That's our expectation, or that's how low it is that they did that, and we are giving them a standing ovation. You know what I mean? Like, it's
progress, RJ. Progress.
I do agree that it's baby steps. Jordan Sparks had a song once upon a time that was called One Step at a Time. This is that. But, I mean, until they, like, I have yet to be wowed. I really do. This is 2 full years now of toxicity, of dysfunction, of self-induced and then self-bragged about, full and total absolute anarchy that they love and enjoy. I don't watch professional wrestling. There's nothing against it. But this is that, man. This is WWE. You got dudes jumping into the ring, slamming chairs, cage matches, belt, whatever. It's like, this is all this is at this point.
RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys, always a good time. You can catch that full interview, of course, at sasportstar.com in our audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. Always good stuff with RJ on. And look, it's not unique to the Cowboys. It's just unique in the way that the Cowboys go about handling their business. And like we said, they did the right thing at the appropriate time. And that feels like a gigantic win for this organization because it is not something that they're normally doing. So give them the credit for that. When we come back, though, there are many, many other openings, including head coaching openings across the NFL. Who's going to land where and what are the best fits? Well, the Morning Huddle was talking about it. We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
This year, I'm giving my hair salon a total makeover.
Total makeover sounds totally expensive.
We updated our logo and colors, so I needed to print new signage, brochures, business cards, everything.
Everything will not be cheap.
Staples did it all, and I saved $100 on my order.
$100? Trim my whiskers, that's a good deal. For everything your business needs to print, let's go Staples.
That was easy.
Offer valid in-store and online. Ends 1/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I'm worth a lot more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I'm worth more.
You know what? You're right. At GiveMeTheVin.com, you are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more at Give Me the VIN, because good cars are worth more, and so are you. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. And remember, if we don't beat a deal from Carvana or CarMax, we'll pay you $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to 60%, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
There's a reason why you own a Kubota. It's because you won't settle for second best. The Kubota L Series has been the #1 best-selling compact tractor in the U.S. for 15 years straight. And the Kubota SVL Series has been the #1 best-selling compact track loader in the U.S. for the last 6 years. Now that's saying something. So don't be fooled by other dealers wanting to trade for your orange. We're Ewald Kubota, keeping it orange for over 75 years.
This is AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6 for the perfect ride to work on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Drew Show with a Happy New Year's blessing. Thank you so much, Drew. Appreciate you for tuning in. As always, great to have you in on this Wednesday as we are halfway through the week, my friends. We're almost to our first, I guess technically second, but first after a long work week in 2026. And in so, that means there are a whole bunch of openings when it comes to NFL jobs, like there are every single year, because every single year, at least 5 to 6 coaches get fired. Right now, we have 7 that have openings. As a matter of fact, 7 reached out to John Harbaugh after he got fired. If you do the math, one of those 7 that has an opening is Baltimore. That means somebody, at least one team that has a head coach, is currently inquiring about John Harbaugh. So the cycle may not be done in terms of openings. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Speaking of how it could play out, though, earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, they were talking about some of the vacancies and the attractiveness of that to the candidates.
Thoughts on who could potentially replace John Harbaugh in Baltimore are varied. But here's the names I've heard the most. Kevin Stefanski's one.
Yep.
And listen, I think Stefanski's good, but I mean, if you're looking for a ring, he's certainly
he's the best.
He
is the best on the market. He ain't the best out there, but if you're going with market availability, he'd be a good get. Now, he does come with some questions, but as far as who's out there, yeah, man.
I know that the defense falling off was a big reason why the Ravens were not very good this year. And Brian Flores' name is being kicked around again. I think Brian Flores is quickly becoming, okay, yeah, the NFL probably won't love it if we hire him, but we're going to do it anyway.
He feels very Baltimore-y, doesn't he?
He does,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks good in purple. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Jesse Minter, the DC for the
I
Chargers.
hear that name mentioned. I don't know anything about him, so I can't pretend to say he'd be a great candidate.
Jesse Minter worked in Baltimore for about 4 years, from like 2016 to 19, 2016 to 20-ish. And obviously he's been working with Jim. There's some connections there. The one that I heard and I went, ooh, now that's interesting. Last year, the Seahawks sniped the Ravens defensive coordinator and Mike McDonald, and it's worked out really well for them.
Yeah, they might return
the favor and snag Clint Kubiak and
go offense with
offense.
Us?
Yeah, and
that's my gut tells me they're going to try to open this offense up and spend some money to help it, which they've never done with Harbaugh. They've always stressed other things and let Lamar bail them out. Go be Lamar in the fourth quarter, but for 3 quarters we're going to run the ball with Derrick Henry and we're going to dump it down there and play strong defense. And I think they're going to go all in on Lamar. And if they don't, I think they're crazy. Why would you make this decision unless you're going to do that?
I think that listen. We've talked a lot of the 6 before yesterday. We were saying of the 6 best or the 6 jobs, which one's the best? There's no question now what the best available NFL coaching job is. It's Baltimore.
Oh, no. That's why I believe whoever gets this job isn't a name on our list right now.
Right. Every other job that we've talked about it's quite frankly it's poverty franchises. It's disaster franchises that will likely continue in a cycle of disaster just because that's what they are. Baltimore is not a disaster franchise, and you have a franchise quarterback in place.
Yes. And
presumptually, I assume they're going to extend him at this point.
What if they did decide, well, we're going to get rid of Lamar too? Then is it still the same franchise?
Yeah, I still think it's. Okay. I still think it's. They're better than the others.
I know this. They'll never make a rash decision, and I trust the general manager implicitly. The dude can draft.
Because if they do trade Lamar this offseason, they're going to get a haul. And so you're not going to be worried about, how are they going to get the draft capital to do? They'll figure that out. Because Lamar Jackson would probably bring back the biggest haul in the history of the NFL if he were to be traded. So I don't worry about him on that front. Yeah, it's just, Atlanta is a disaster franchise. Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona, the Raiders, the Giants. These are all, they're loser franchises.
Well, it's a starter job. It's your first job.
But it's also, and this is, that's why if I'm Clint Kubiak, this is so appealing to me. Because if you finally make the jump from coordinator to head coach, you've got to, I always tell people, be really careful. Make sure that this is the right time. Because if Aaron Glenn gets fired from the Jets, this is his first head coaching job. Who's going to give him a second chance as a head coach?
You'll get a second shot. You always get one more. Think of the retreads. You always get one more. It might take a decade.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be 10 years.
Yeah, you'll get another.
But generally, if you take that first swing and it's a disaster.
Well, 80% of the time it is. That's why these guys have to get another shot, because most of the time that first one doesn't work out. Look at all the every franchise you just named over the last 5 years. What are there, 15 different coaches combined in those franchises? There's just, you'll get another gig, but the problem is you need to escalate to the next level of franchise. You either lift the franchise you've got out, or you're going to have to take another swing and do it again someplace else, or you're going to get fired like you did the first time. Yeah. And I do appreciate the fact that I think Baltimore can hire an assistant, because they're not having to rebuild a franchise.
Right.
They're just having to retool a team. And it's so different. Your outside work, like Shoddy has so much work to do. He has to completely change the way everybody thinks in that building. And you don't have to do that in Baltimore. They know what it takes to win. They know what to do. They show up on time. They got good team leadership. So it makes it easier to hire a dude. Also with the expectation that he's going to be here if he does things the way we expect for 20 years. Our plan is for you to retire here, or, finally, kick off at 18 years and go take the job you want.
How long do you think it'll be before Jonathan Gannon gets another head coaching job?
Oh, it could be in this rotation, dude. I think everybody gets another shot. No, Gannon's out for another couple years. But what I'm saying is that wheel, you don't get thrown off the merry-go-round after the first one. I think it's Kingsbury's still getting kicked around. I mean,
but he hasn't got another head coaching job, and he just got fired from an OC job.
He continues to get jobs and be named. And I think you're always going to be on that circle. Once you get the head coaching job, you get the handshake, and now you're in.
Well, guess who the Tennessee Titans are showing interest in? Jason Garrett.
I think they're looking at the wrong former coach.
That feels weird.
I think that I'll tell you this. I know what's been going on in the Garrett lunch table, the Garrett dinner table. Jason Garrett's been scheming for the Notre Dame job. And when that didn't happen, when Notre Dame coach got that big new deal, then Garrett just decided, well, I'll interview for anything. But I do believe that he thought that Notre Dame coach was going to New York. And Garrett was going to save and jump in because he's been covering Notre Dame for a couple years. Yeah. He knows everybody there. And when coach decided to stay, I think Garrett just put his name. He ain't going to get hired in Tennessee.
Look, I agree. I don't think he's going to be the guy in Tennessee, much like I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to be the guy in New York. As a matter of fact, I think John Harbaugh ends up in New York. As far as openings not named Baltimore, where he just came from, that or Atlanta are the probably two most enticing teams in terms of what they have built, quarterbacks on the roster, et cetera, et cetera. I think those will likely be one of the landing spots for one John Harbaugh. As it comes to Baltimore, I do think Anthony Weaver is the guy there because I think that Brian Flores and his connection with Tom Brady might have an in with the Raiders. And it'll probably be more. I think Mike McCarthy would be a good option to help turn around Tennessee if they were going to do that. We do have playoff football coming up tomorrow in college football and this weekend as the Texans get set to take on the Steelers. We'll get ready for all that as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Uncover the root of your problems and improve the quality of your life. I'm Dr. Torres from the Institute for Functional Health. For more than a decade, we have helped people restore energy, vitality, libido, and drive. Most patients come to us because they feel unheard or stuck. Schedule your discovery day. We'll talk about your history, run advanced testing, and build a personalized plan that fits your life. We have helped thousands of people just like you. Call 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. 210-468-1891.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the gridiron action. You can make picks and win money right now here in Texas, and it is so easy. You pick your favorite players. Are they going to go higher or lower on their stats? Touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, whatever. You get it right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And I think there's some great opportunities right now because we know some of these teams really care. Some of these teams really don't care. So some of these star players, you expect maybe they'll go out and play a couple snaps and be done for the day. Maybe look at some lowers on them. Maybe take some hires on some of the backup guys you think will get some run. Either way, there's always plenty of action to be had on Underdog. What are you waiting for? Download the app today. Use promo code Alamo. You'll get $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Alamo. Underdog. Make picks and win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Star? It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet so you can row and
stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I appreciate y'all rolling through with me tonight as we take you up till 7 o'clock and I continue to pay off my debts. As you can see, I am in a Johnny Manziel jersey. If you are watching live on YouTube, tomorrow, likely either Cowboys or Titans gear, followed by something sequiny and shiny delivered from Alexandra that is Aggie related on Friday. And then Monday, one last day. I'm saving the game worn Patrick Creighton jersey for that particular day. And then it's all over finally. But we do have the Spurs coming up, 8:30. Victor Wembanyama's questionable. I expect him to play. I think it was just released that LeBron James is out for tonight's game. So, Luka with a big night, having to carry the load for that Lakers team that is already without Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, now potentially LeBron. Whew. Could be quite the opportunity for the Spurs to put a little more space in between them and LA, especially after last night's debacle in Memphis. And I get it. Everybody's upset about what had happened with Wemby's minutes. I am not. His minutes are his minutes. They're not controlled by the coach. They're controlled by the training staff. And as Sean Elliott told the Blitz earlier in December, when they have a minutes restriction, they hit those minutes. It's done. They're told by the guys on that second row, it's over. There's no 2 more minutes. There's no 1 more minute. Now, can you manage those minutes better to make sure he's in at the end of the game? Absolutely. But at the same time, the man's cooking. You let him cook. Try and build up a lead that won't fall away at the end. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Frost Bank Center, 8:30 tonight, will be on ESPN Prime Time. I appreciate all y'all for joining me tonight. Remember, call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how are you doing, can help change everything. Love all y'all. We will see you again tomorrow. Don't forget, Rob and AJ get you started 6 to 10 on the morning huddle, and then the Blitz will get you going from 2 to 6. We'll see you tomorrow night.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody.